regular show. This show goes without words. It was beautiful, amazingly written, and overall a great show for kids and adults alike to watch. Now, I grew up watching this show. It was a beautiful masterpiece. The way that they implemented kind of an 80s musical and kind of technology style of show and cartoon and animation and music and implement it into the show was just greatly amazing to me. It's kind of a unique in way to like implement this inside of the show, and I feel like that was a great aspect of it. Growing up watching as a kid, I always loved the show, and when it ended, I was so sad, and it really sucked because, like I said, I really liked the show. It was amazing. Now, first, we have Mordecai and Rigby. Those two are a blue jay and a raccoon. They're deadbeats. Don't mean to sound like that, but yes, they're deadbeats that work in a park in a house with a bunch of other people, and they work. Well, not really work necessarily, because a lot of times they end up slacking off, or Rigby, as his natural character is, drags Mordecai into doing things that he doesn't want to, and they ended up getting yelled at by their boss, Benson, which I'll touch upon later. Now, they're also constantly competing with each other. Like, if you look in the show closely, you can see, all different competitions that they have. They're always rivaling each other and always doing, like, competing, like rock, paper, scissors, and usually not Mordecai, but Rigby loses in these situations, and that's what makes the classic humor and funny part. Now, their boss, Benson, I really liked him as a kid growing up because it's always funny watching him just sit there and yell at the top of his lungs at Mordecai and Rigby whenever they would do something wrong or bad. And but always start that voice crack. You heard that? You heard nothing. You saw nothing at all. Now it was always funny, like I said, watching him get mad, and you always see his face get all red, yelling at them for all the slacking off and crazy crap that they do during the park. Like there's been multiple times where they've saved this man's life, and he's like full on yelled at them, like regardless of it, and did not care. And it's a really funny aspect of adding it in, and like I said, I really love watching that, and it was also a good aspect. Now I'm going to talk about Skips for a second. He's kind of like the person that helps Rigby and Mordecai in their times of need when they do something stupid. Like, whenever something goes terribly wrong, usually they go to Skips and, they tell him and all that stuff like that, and he always usually finds a way to fix it and have to clean up their messes most of the time. And that's an aspect of the show that they implemented in there, which you can see in past years of different cartoons too that you can relate to. Now, I also want to touch upon, the monster aspect of this. And, like, this was a very good, kind of thing that they did there, where, kind of like lots of different shows during that era and period of time, they implemented that in where, they somehow mystically create a monster or a problem that they have to solve during the episode and fight against, and makes weird and mysterious places that they go and things that they do, and it's a very, very good way of doing this. And we can see this also in past shows such as Courage the Cowardly Dog. There were a lot of different monsters that Courage ran from and protected Muriel and Eustace from. I touched upon Courage in another one of my videos because this is going to be like a series I'm going to do of the greatness of different childhood cartoons that I loved from Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, maybe, who knows. But anyway, back on topic, as I was saying, that this is how it happened in like many different cartoons, like Adventure Time too. A lot of times, Finn and Jake are fighting monsters and stuff like that, and they did this, but like in their own unique, special way that made it special for adults and kids alike. And that's what the creator wanted. He wanted it to be a show, not a place, well, kind of place if you think about it like deeply and closely, but where adults and children alike could sit down and watch the show and just enjoy it as it is, because it was a masterpiece that lived on for multiple seasons. And the show, I don't know if any of you guys know this, but the show was originally intended to be an adult swim cartoon, like an adult cartoon. That's why a lot of times you see in the series there are a lot of, kind of adult jokes in there, or things that you wouldn't really expect kids' cartoons to have in there. And that's also a cool way of doing it. Because, like I said, the creator wanted it to be a show that also adults could watch at the same time. And I'm like really shocked that Cartoon Network let him get away, J.G. Quentin get away with a lot of the things that he did in that show that were like, I don't know if you guys remember, but in like the animatronic episode where those animatronics came to life and all stuff like that and started fighting, and it was crazy. But like a lot of times, it's not just that episode specifically, but I believe that was like the first time, but where you can see that the officers that were chasing down the animatronics had guns, and they were actually using like actual guns, as opposed to in multiple different cartoons, because too they don't really use guns necessarily because they're meant for kids. And, yeah, they mostly use like laser blasters or something like that. And I'm really surprised that they let him get away without like having actual guns in the show, and I'm glad they did, because I said made it good for older audiences, not just younger audiences, which I really like about it. And like this very good style of things that they do. And I don't know if Cartoon Network will allow this more in the future, or if they're just gonna set that aside. But yeah, and us. Sorry, memory kind of slipped. But getting back on topic, I'm gonna talk about Benson. Now, I kind of did talk about him a little earlier, but I kind of want to touch upon him like slightly a little bit more. Now, he's a boss, the manager of the park, and he yells at Mordecai Rigby a lot, and I mean a lot. I mean like really a lot. And it's a funny aspect of the show that I was speaking on earlier. And yeah, it's been all I have to say to him now. And I spoke about him more earlier. That's why I don't have a lot to say about him right now. But yeah. And I'm gonna talk about Muscle Man now. Now, Muscle Man, he's there's like no words to describe that man. That man's a weirdo. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he's like actually a weird man. Not gonna lie. Like, he's this big green fat dude who just goes around chilling with high five ghosts, just doing his own self. Don't get me wrong, he's an amazing character, but like some of the things that he's done is just crazy to me. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but like in the episode where the TV comes to life and the Mordecai and Ripley were playing that video game, like, I don't know if you remember, bro, but like when Muscle Man, like when he like went up to the flipping game, he was like, "Oh no, it's the flipping." I forgot what his name was. He said, "Bro, can I get your picture?" And then he hits him, and then his flipping just his man pecs just come and hit him in the face backwards. Just such a funny scene, and like I don't know, it's like a really funny episode to me, and I would definitely recommend that you watch it. And yeah, High Five Ghost. I don't really have much to say about him. He appears in the show, like, not like a decent amount of time as most people would. Like, I have nothing to say with him. Like, I'm neutral towards him. Like, I don't like really like him, but I also don't like super really hate him. Like, I'm just kind of in the middle, because he's just kind of there. Like, he wasn't really an impactful character. I don't really believe so at all. And yeah, like he didn't really do anything significant with the show. Pops. Oh boy, here we go. Pops is a old man with a head the size of the flipping moon, and just walks around cheerful and jolly and all that stuff like that. And it's really fun person to be. He gives out lollipops because he thinks lollipops are money and stuff like that. There are some very funny scenes with Pops. Later we find out that the man just is a god through time and has like mystical powers and stuff like that. Now, this has been, what I think on a regular show. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Subscribe, hit the notifications, and like the video. And definitely more of this series in the future, very, very, very soon. And yeah, have a good day.